Hello YouTube, I'm back, and this time I'm taking a look at a game that I've not only put a buttload of hours of game time into, but something that improves my skills outside of gaming, and that's playing guitar. If you want to learn how to play either guitar or bass, or just learn how to play some certain songs, well then Rocksmith may be for you. Now this won't be a traditional review with positives and negatives, but more of an opinion piece on why, if you don't currently play either guitar or bass, why you should pick this up if you're looking at starting to play. First, some history going back to about the early 2000s with Guitar Hero. If you're too young to remember Guitar Hero, it was a massive hit, spawning multiple sequels, spin-offs, expansions and more. You'd plug in a arcade-like guitar into your console, pick a song, a difficulty, and start playing. I'd gotten Guitar Hero 2 on my Xbox 360 for my birthday, and then Guitar Hero 3 came out. For others, this was a simple sequel, but for me personally, this changed my life. It introduced me to the top hat wearing sex machine that is Slash, and the most unique and creative guitar player of probably all time, at least for me, Tom Morello. From that, I was introduced to Rage Against the Machine, Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver, Audioslave, Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, and a fuckload more. I even have these guitars tattooed on me. Anyway, enough about me. We then got competition with Guitar Hero in Rock Band. We got to play with band expansions where people could not only play a guitar or bass, but they could play drums or sing. People would have house parties and get shit-faced and play Rock Band or Guitar Hero all night. It wasn't long before people wanted to learn how to play a real guitar or real bass, and Rocksmith bridged the gap between an arcade video game and learning how to play an instrument. Starting up Rocksmith for the first time, you'll learn how to hold a pick, how to hold a guitar, where to place your hands, and more. Before you know it, you'll start to play a song. Now, unlike Guitar Hero, which previously had players not only pick a difficulty and force players to play certain songs to progress to the new area where there'll be new songs, players here can pick whatever song they want to at the start. Yes, it may not be advised to start playing something like The Trooper by Iron Maiden if you haven't played something before, but hey, you can if you want to. Before you start each song, you'll need to tune your instrument, and the game will teach you how to tune your guitar or bass. Then it's time to start. The song will start, and if you've not played it before, and even if it is your first time playing an instrument, it's pretty simple and straightforward. You'll play simple notes and the game will progressively increase the difficulty, so you'll be playing more and more chords and more notes until you've maxed out the difficulty and you're actually playing the song. Now the difficulty won't increase every part of the song, just certain sections. So if you've nailed the chorus of The Pretender by Foo Fighters but you can't quite get the intro right, the difficulty will increase to 100% for the chorus parts, but for the intros, they'll go back down to where you were previously. As playing an instrument goes, the more you play, the more you learn the required chords and notes. You'll even be able to decide what style you want to play as for most songs. If you're playing a Foo Fighters song, you can play like Dave Grohl with the rhythm beats, or you can take Chris Shiflett's lead. As you can see here, when you learn to master a song, no notes will appear on the screen and you'll start to have to remember what notes and chords are required. This is called Master Mode and will activate when you're playing a song on the full 100% difficulty and you're hitting majority of the notes no problem. This is basically Rocksmith telling you that you've learnt the song and you're going to learn it via muscle memory now. Multiple times while jamming out with some mates or having some beers and someone's pulled out an acoustic guitar, the new songs that I've learnt from Rocksmith have stuck with me. There are some great songs available with the bass version of Rocksmith, and for those of you looking for some songs from your favourite bands, Ubisoft are still releasing DLC for this game to this day. I've grabbed some System of a Down, Rage Against the Machine, Slash, Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, but there's legitimately a fuckload of songs by a heap of artists available. Now Rocksmith is a little different from Guitar Hero, as Guitar Hero will increase your hand-eye coordination, and it's a great gateway drug into playing an instrument. However, the Guitar Hero controller had buttons located at the top of the neck, and these 5 buttons were quite close together, and you wouldn't really move your hand up and down the neck. Now as you're playing a real instrument, you will be moving your hand around. Now playing Rocksmith without having played any instrument will be a little difficult, as you'll be looking at the screen as to what notes are coming next, then looking down at your instrument as to where your hand should be. But Rocksmith will know if you're missing notes or not and decrease or increase the difficulty as required, as you won't be pressing buttons but pressing down on the strings, and each string is represented with a different colour. If you see a purple 5, then you'll need to have your finger down on the 5th fret on the E string. At first it can get a little frustrating having to look at the screen, then back down to your instrument, then what string you need to strike and what chord or fret. Now it's not just all playing songs and learning through that, there are some really cool side game modes in the Guitarcade which are pretty cool. There's even a Wolfenstein first person shooter mode that will have you play chords to shoot and defeat demons. Not gonna lie, at first I thought this was a bit of a shit gimmick, but after playing it for a while, I was legit enjoying it. You'll also be able to stop songs and have them skip back to a certain point and practice them over and over again till you learn how to play that particular part. This option is fantastic and has taught me how to actually play some solos that I originally thought were tricky, but then due to this, realised they're quite easy. If you've always wanted to learn how to play guitar or bass, Rocksmith won't replace a traditional teacher, but if you don't have access to a guitar teacher, or if the only guitar teacher in your small town is a racist, sexist pig, like mine was, then Rocksmith will fill that void. Even if you've got a guitar teacher or you already play with a couple mates in a band and you want to rock up with a new song in your playlist, Rocksmith is fantastic for that. If you're someone like me who will never play in a band or on stage but you just want to jam out in your living room, then again Rocksmith is fucking great for it. Like all games though, if you have no experience with it, you'll find it hard at first, but it will get easier over time and with patience. I've even gotten Mrs. Duty to play a couple songs of guitar and bass, and she started to pick it up a little bit too quickly. Rocksmith is available now, and if you've got a guitar or you're looking at starting to play, I highly recommend picking this up. You'll find Rocksmith available basically everywhere on Xbox, PS4 and PC, and you'll need a Rocksmith cable which can be thankfully purchased online.